are live as well, and everyone appears to be in the meeting.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. We are back at 9:42, right? Alan?
I got 9:42, dear. Yes.
Okay, so item 10, action as a result of closed session. The Altamont Unit 10 School Board would like to make the following announcement regarding AGS principal contract renewals and other matters. There are 4 items in this announcement. Item 1, we would like to announce the retirement of high school principal Jerry Kachuk in January of 2022. Item 2, the high school principal contract of Jerry Kachuk will be extended next year for the fall semester and will go to January of 2022, at which time he will retire. Item 3, we will promote the high school ADAP Peggy Beaker to high school principal effective January 2022. Item 4, the current high school ADAP position will be covered by the administrative team in the spring of 2022. Let's see. And then new business, item 11. Are you ready, Mr. Coleman?
Yes, I am.
Item A, Effingham Regional Career Academy is a discussion item. And was Peggy going to talk to us about that, or Steve?
Nope, I've got this one. So this is just a discussion item. And so I included in your packets an intergovernmental agreement that was prepared by the ECRA committee. And so just a little bit of background information. So Lakeland College is building the Effingham Regional Career Academy. They are also going to be staffing the academy. I believe the projected start date at this time is actually not until the year after next. So they haven't even broken ground yet. The purpose of bringing this up for the board's attention at this time is so we can be included, should the board decide, within a group of 14 public schools to participate in the Effingham Regional Career Academy. And the reason for this is that Lakeland is applying for an equipment grant. The manufacturing equipment, as you all know, is very pricey. And so the hope from Lakeland College is that they can declare within the equipment grant application that these 14 schools are indeed participating, and then apply for that grant in hopes that they'll be awarded that money so they can move forward with getting those classrooms equipped for kiddos for the 22-23 school year. Questions on that?
Will the kids go to this school then and participate at that location or out in the community?
So my understanding, Dale, is that our kids would attend that. And one of the things I want to be clear about too is that this does in no way replace OCAL and our relationship with OCAL. It would just diversify what we are already offering to our high school kids in terms of that curriculum. And again, Lakeland College will be heading all of that up. I would expect, though, to answer your question specifically, that there would be some work in the community as well, along with those courses.
So it may overlap a call or may not, or you know.
I'm sorry, I missed that first part. Can you repeat that question again?
Do you feel this is going to overlap OCAL or just be another division for kids to do?
I think it's going to help to diversify our curriculum and supplement it. I don't think it will in any way replace it.
My question, Steve, is with this, if there was a welding class per se offered through the Career Academy and OCAL, and this is the example that pulls to my head quickest, has the same welding class, we push it towards OCAL or we give the student the option. My feeling is if that is the case, the kid would, or the students would choose away from OCAL, that option there. That's my thinking here real quick.
Yeah, I think that's a great thought, Alan. I would respond in this way. I would make that specific to that individual student. And by that, I mean, I would expect that many of the courses at ECRA would be dual credit. So if that student had interest in that welding class, and if that welding class were dual credit, as opposed to it being not being dual credit at OCAL, and the family and the student chose that was a better option for them, then I would expect they would, again, choose ECRA over OCAL, but I would leave it up to that individual family in that situation.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
Any other questions on that?
Are any of the classes OCA dual credit?
Yes, Shelley, some of the classes are oh, you mean at OCAL, I'm sorry. Is Mr. Kachuk still?
I don't think he is. We can
I
get him.
just texted Jerry to maybe join the meeting so he can answer any questions.
I thought
You're-
that some of the OCA tech classes were through Cascadia. I thought they were dual credit. We can always revisit this. Do we have to renew? We're not renewing any kind of contract or doing anything that has to be decided tonight, right?
I just have it down as discussion.
It sounds like we need to do a lot more discussion.
Other than I think we'd be foolish not to be involved in the Effingham Regional Career Academy.
Well, I agree that we should be involved in the Effingham Regional Career Academy, but I also know that we've had a very, very long standing and very successful partnership at OCA, and we want to make sure that we don't murky the waters too much. It's always been a little bit of a conflict, what we taught at our school versus what we sent to OCA, and now we've murkied the waters a little bit more with adding this. Although there's a great program, I agree with whoever asked the question. We got to have some delineation here of when do you turf a student into which program, and do they compete versus complement each other. In the past, I've been that we teach beginning level industrial arts, and that higher level industrial arts are taught at OCA. So my question becomes then, is this an even higher level, or is it a competitor of OCA?
I think Jerry would be the best to answer that question because I believe he sits on the board of that, does he not, Shelley?
I think so.
I think he does.
Yeah, but I do think that some of the I'm getting an echo, I guess. I do think that the tech classes at OCA are dual credit, though, so that would be the only answer.
Steve, maybe I missed it. One more question I would have. Cost to the district, is there any additional cost, or what would that be?
So Dane, the way that would play out is if it is a dual credit course at ECRA, my understanding is it's approximately $1,000 a semester hour. So the board then, that would be a decision at that time as to whether or not they would share in the cost with that individual student, whether that student would pick up the entire cost. And that just varies from district to district in terms of how that plays out in this scenario. So that would be a board decision at that time.
Okay, and what about transportation costs? Is there any estimates on that?
Typically, students are required to do their own transportation, but that's something that, again, the board could offer as well if we had a big turnout in terms of students that wanted to attend.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
The other question I had about that involves state reimbursement for career technical courses. So right now, our monies that come from the state for career technical courses, we send to OCA, correct? Or has that changed in the last couple years?
Steve's muted. He's not, we can't hear him. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
So our career technical monies go to OCA currently.
Yes, actually, ROE3 manages CTE money. The district in the area does it a little bit differently. They're the ones that actually manage CTE money for us.
I think we need a lesson in that. A few years ago, I asked this question. I was very concerned when we were trying to rebuild our shop and have monies for our own career technical program. I was told that our monies were from the state that would normally fund that kind of thing is sent to OCA. So I have some questions about, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like we have really poor delineation of how these programs fit. Am I overthinking it?
I would say Jerry would be able to provide a little bit more information. However, I will also say that I'm certain that Lakeland doesn't have the full array of course offerings that they're going to provide at the time that they launch the Career Academy. So some of those questions we won't be able to answer until they've decided on that specific curriculum. And a lot of that, I would suspect Lakeland will have to answer based on faculty and staff availability as well. So
I believe Jerry's trying to get back in the meeting. Can you see anything, Steve? Ross is helping him try to enter.
I am not seeing him yet.
Okay. While
I
we're
see
waiting for
Peggy. I've got her admitted.
while we're waiting for them, one point of clarification that went on just in the background. As far as the district announcement that I made under item 10, there's no action to that. That's the announcement. That's the intent of our program, of our planning. We wanted to clear up any confusion or questions that the community might have as far as our plan goes. As new contracts and things are negotiated with the players in that scenario, those will be approved probably at the January meeting. So I just wanted to clarify that, why there wasn't any action this month. We were announcing a plan. Why don't we go ahead and talk about Press Plus while we wait for Jerry?
Jerry's here.
Oh, I don't see him.
I'm here.
Hey, friend, we have some questions about the Regional Career Academy.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Who started their questions first a while ago?
Yes, Dale.
Okay, I had a question on how, is this going to overlap on top of the same classes that OCAL has, or is it going to be separated by, nobody's going to overlap? I'm guessing there's overlap, and how is that going to be managed?
There will likely be overlap. When we talked about getting started on this, we considered whether or not, as we saw the Career Academy coming online, we might end our agreement with OCA and move over to the Effingham County, depending on what the offerings were and if the offerings were better. So that was one consideration, was that we would go to one or the other, but we wouldn't go to both. So when the time comes if we decide to go with Regional Career Academy, we'll likely have to talk about ending our association with OCA.
Do you know how many kids are attending OCall?
This year it's 3.
Approximately?
This year it's 3.
3, okay.
But we have 5 going over to Effingham for construction trades.
Okay.
Is this a typical year at 3?
No.
Or is that down?
Typically we have between 16 and 25. So this is a very down year for OCA.
I think that before I get on the bandwagon to make a change that requires dropping OCA, we're going to have a lot of really good information, because I feel like the community is going to be very concerned. We have a lot of tradesmen in our community who were alumni from OCA, who would probably like to really protect that program. On the other hand, I'm totally in favor of the Regional Career Academy. I think we're going to have to really make sure we vet this.
I don't know that there was a requirement that we leave OCA. I think we can probably still remain in both, but we'd be talking about taking a group of typically 16 to 25 and splitting them maybe in half. So it was discussed that when the Career Academy actually came online, we would need to look at the offerings and make a decision about whether or not we were going to remain in both or pick one over the other.
When does this decision have to be made?
Not immediately. I mean, the Career Academy, the building itself won't be online for 3 years at least, from what I understand. They haven't even begun construction on it yet. So I would say there's really no hurry. The other schools that are on there are doing this because none of them are in OCA. We're the only school in the Career Academy group that actually is in the OCA Vocational Center as well. So, we're in a unique position that our kids already have a lot of what's being offered, and then we can determine which looks like a better opportunity for our students, or maybe we keep both.
At what point do they need a commitment? I mean, what decision is before the board that we needed to discuss this at this time? Was this an update on where
whether or not we're gonna agree to the memorandum of understanding? I think that's in the board packet that Effingham drew up. The intergovernmental agreement. I'm sorry. All that says is that we are interested in being a participant, but there's no commitment to it.
Yes, and if I could just add, that's for the purposes of Lakeland College applying for the equipment grant this spring. They want to be able to specifically say in that grant application, yes, we have 14 districts that are willing to participate in ECRA.
Do we know if there's anything in either this understanding or in our contract or whatever the agreement is with OCA that prohibits us from having a dual relationship?
None that I'm aware of.
None that I'm aware of either.
I haven't read OCA's. I didn't see any in this one, but I haven't read OCA's.
I think it's good that we're having a discussion. I don't think we're in a position to make any commitment because we don't have enough information. We need to know what our requirements are to OCA. We need to understand the funding piece of it. We need to understand, do they need the memorandum of understanding tonight?
No, this was simply a discussion item. It will be up at the January meeting.
For the January meeting, we need to have a better insight into what our commitments are to OCA and if they're exclusionary, and what exactly this is tying us to on the other side. So yeah, we just need more information. Anything else on this one, gentlemen?
No.
Okay. Item D, the Press Plus updates, first reading. Any questions on those? It's just a discussion item. If you haven't read them, do. He wants us to focus on, help me out. 3:40. Yeah, and 4:80, right?
Yep.
Okay, we'll take a look at those. If you have any concerns or questions, get a hold of Steve ahead of time. We'll be voting on those next month. Item C, review closed session minutes. They're reviewed. There's nothing that we need to release. Nothing to update. Item D, use of school facilities by external groups. This is an action item. I think, Peggy, did you have information on this?
Yes, I just would like to, I mean, it's an action item, so you're gonna vote on it, so I can give direction when people ask as far as maybe AAU teams or community members who want or are seeking to use our facility in this time where we're in tier 3. I know that Steve emailed our school lawyer, and I thought I put that was added in my board report, his response, his email back regarding it and his recommendation.
Did you all get a chance to read his recommendations?
I think he recommended that we don't allow groups to use the facilities, and really under the circumstances right now, that's just as well, I think.
I agree. I think on the news tonight, they're talking about withholding funding and some other financial repercussions for people who are not following the mitigation. So I think they're going to play harder and harder ball the farther into this we get. You all know my opinion. Anytime we can get the kids to play and we can do anything for them, we should. In this particular case, it looks like our attorney's saying we better proceed cautiously here. What are your thoughts?
That might be the area we end up, but I think attorneys will always lead you towards the road of no risk or least risk. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me that he doesn't recommend it. I guess my questions would be really two things. Number one, who manages, who's allowed to use it, and who isn't? And number two, is there any additional burden to our custodians because of this? Steve or Peggy, can one of you answer those two questions for me?
You broke out, Dane, your question. I didn't hear it completely.
Okay, so my question is, number one, who manages, who's allowed to use the facility and who's not? And number two, is there any additional burden put on our custodians because of this?
So in a typical non-COVID year, the facility is managed, I guess, by me, and then there's a, like, let's say, like when we have the gymnastic, people use our gym, there's some paperwork that they fill out that is approved through the board. And I think we did that for like our AAU 5th grade basketball teams in the past that use our high school gym for practice as well. So I guess through me, or the athletic director kind of manages it just as far as scheduling the gym times and around after they fill out that paperwork. I don't think there's any added burden for our custodial staff because somebody's in there. No.
Are there any other districts allowing usage of their facilities right now?
None that I am aware of that are public schools. Parochial schools, yes, but I don't know of any public schools.
Not that I'm aware of either, Dane.
We might just want to let this one simmer for the time being. See what happens here with the numbers of COVID. Be my.
I agree with that too.
Do we have to have a motion on this, or is this just something we can do by consensus?
I don't see that we need a motion on it, Dale. For my opinion, we can do it as a consensus as it comes through to us again some other time.
I think it would require a motion if we were going to allow it, but since we're not going to allow it, there's no action. We currently don't allow it, so it's status quo, right?
That is correct.
Sounds good to me.
All right. right, item E, OPA winter break and weekend meal option for students is an action item. That's E. Administration recommends that we approve OPA to partner with Mrs. Amy Ruckman to provide winter break meals and weekend meals this spring. There's no cost to the district for this.
Yes.
Why wouldn't, yeah, I think it's a resounding yes, but anyway, I'd make a motion to, how do you have that worded? Make a motion to approve OPA to partner with Mrs. Amy Ruckman to provide winter break meals and weekend meals this spring. Have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Mr. Melville. Thank you, Mrs. Ruckman, for doing that for us. We're
Yes,
very,
awesome
very
deal.
appreciative.
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Feldkamp,
Yes.
Lau,
Yes.
Coleman, yes. Coons,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Yes.
motion carries 7-0.
Item F is a certified teacher potential hire. And administration recommends that we approve the hiring of Larry Blevins for junior high math to begin January the 4th. Discussion, questions, comments? How
I'll
is
make the
that?
motion.
Before we move on, can you provide us that class is doing well, right? Mr. Hayden's still in there now?
Yes, Mr. Hayden is currently still in the class at this time. And the recommendation would be for Larry to begin after winter break.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf made the motion, didn't you? Okay, do I have a second?
Yes.
Mr. Shoemaker?
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Feldkamp,
Yes.
Lau,
Yes.
Coleman, yes. Coons,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
I have to laugh every time, you know, when you guys talk, you all pop up on my screen, except Darren, I get a nice ceiling fan picture. Cracking me up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I have that same feeling. Oh,
I'm trying to charge my phone, so.
I love it. Item G, junior high cheerleading coach resignation, action item. Administration recommends that we approve the resignation of Holly Glenn. I so move. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lau.
Shoemaker,
Sorry, yes.
Feldkamp,
Yes.
Lau,
Yes.
Coleman, yes. Coons, Shelley, you must be on mute.
Yes. Sorry.
Melville,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
You know, I actually didn't say yes. I just dreamed I did. I'm sorry. I'll pay more attention next time. I was already reading about item H, junior high cheerleading coach potential hire. And administration is recommending that we approve the hire of Audra, is it Flaherty? I don't know if I said that correctly.
You need a motion?
Yes, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Feldkamp. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Colby.
I think it's Flea Hardy, I think.
Thank you. I didn't think I said it right.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yep. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Feldkamp,
Yes.
Lau,
Yes.
Coleman, yes. Coons.
that. I said it. I said it.
Melville,
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We have I yet, and then do we need to add another item also for Peggy that she sent the other day on the co-op?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It can be J after Jerry's
Yep.
I.
Yeah.
Okay, so item I, Mr. Kachuk, what is your recommendation?
It's just to make official the hiring of Angela,
Meadows.
yeah, Angie Meadows. I'm sorry. She's still carried away to me. So Angie Meadows as a high school aide.
I'll make a motion for that, Jerry.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Shoemaker.
Yes.
Elkamp.
Yes.
Lau.
Yes.
Coleman, yes. Coons.
Yes, yes,
Melville.
yes.
Yes.
Wolf.
Yep.
Perfect. Everybody's yeses is getting long, so it's getting late. So Jay, you want to explain that, Peggy, so I can get that up for you?
Just discussion, I guess, at this time of the co-op, possible co-oping, adding a team for soccer and or boys track. And the team is the school from Herrick that's called Mid-America Prep School. And I don't know if everybody got the email that, because Carrie had asked some advantages and disadvantages, so I just sent them out an email. Does anyone have any additional questions or add to? I mean, I can maybe hear your concerns too for that. We don't need to know until February 1st is our deadline to have paperwork for IHSA if we are going to go forward. So, which that would involve me getting Shelley's signature and their board signature and things like that. So there's some paperwork that's involved, but it's not due till February 1st.
And Peggy, that would be effective for next school year. Is that right?
It would be effective for this spring since soccer got moved to the spring. I called and asked IHSA how that would be. Soccer's typically in the fall. If we got this in, it would start for this spring season if they have it for soccer. And then if we decide to add them for boys track as well, it'd be for the spring summer track season yet of this school year.
Okay.
Peggy, are we needing numbers for our soccer program? I know track doesn't really matter, but where are we at on participation in the soccer program?
So right now, from our school, we have approximately 18 boys. Well, I shouldn't say boys, 18 team members, because we have some girls that play on our boys soccer team. Then we co-op with Beecher City. Actually, we have a co-op for soccer with Beecher City and Cowden Herrick, and we get 2 kids from Beecher City. We used to get a kid from Cowden, but he's now one of our students. He's transferred and he goes to school at Altamont. So we have 20 kids. It takes 11 to put on to field a team to be playing at one time. Typical soccer, there's several kids that play because of how much running is involved in soccer. So do we have enough for a varsity team? Yes, for sure, with 20. And talking with Coach Walton and a couple other coaches, an advantage for it is that increase in number makes us be able to have a JV games. So this way, if we have 20 or 17, 18, 19, 20 players are probably not the best. So they're probably not going to play a whole bunch of varsity. By having increased numbers, now we can field a JV team and the younger classmen would get some field experience.
Do other schools have the JV program to be able to participate against?
most every school that's on our schedule, we play JV following the varsity game for soccer. And the reason why it's following the varsity game is because you can use your best players during the varsity and then what you have left, for the JV, and they kind of adjust the time that is played for the JV. They may, as far as how long the halves are. So yes, most everyone that we play does have a JV, and for some of them, the game is just played shorter because of lack of numbers.
How many kids are in this school?
19 total in the high school.
No, I mean in this academy.
19 total in the
Oh,
high
okay.
school.
Okay. Well, my concern is that we've got kids in our district and our co-op already that'll be sitting on a bench if we bring more people in. Is that a valid concern or no?
Looks like Peggy froze. Dale, that was my same concern. It's alleviated quite a bit by learning that we're not able to play JV right now the way we really ought to. So if it gives if it allows us to have enough numbers to split and field a JV team, then everybody's going to end up getting more experience as they go through the program.
We,
That's what it seems like.
we typically play 18 players in a match at least because the way they rotate in and out. So you'd be talking about 2 kids that are going to sit on the bench, and I think having 24 players with injuries, with ineligibilities, with all that kind of stuff, it gives us a cushion actually that we're going to need to have 24. If we get 24 players instead of 20, we'll be sitting a lot prettier.
Well, that makes me feel better. I appreciate that. Just the first initial thought was our kids sitting on a bench. So now that you're explaining it, I feel better about it.
Alan, can we vote on this tonight, or we have to postpone it, or is this on for January?
In my opinion, I think we can vote on it today.
Okay.
Let me do some typing, but I can do the typing. I'll do the typing after we get done. I'm not here. I'm okay with that. So I'll need a motion in a second. That's it.
I'd like to make a motion to co-op. Is it Herrick Mid-America School?
Cowden Mid-America Prep School.
It's actually Herrick.
Okay.
Herrick.
You had Cowden in your notes, dear.
I know. I was corrected on that.
And it's just for soccer and track, yes?
Soccer and boys, that it'll be track. It'll be specifically boys track because IHSA separates those 2 teams.
So boys track and soccer. Or soccer and boys track. There you go. I make the motion.
Is it a 1-year agreement?
Co-ops for IHSA are 2 years.
2-year, okay.
I'll second it.
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Feldkamp,
Yes.
Lau,
A soft yes.
Coleman. Yes. Coons,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Soft 7.
Soft 7. Is there any
Did
business?
we handle B and C? Did we handle B and C?
B was a discussion and C was just a review.
Are you sleeping?
I guess so.
Anything else that anybody wants to double back to? Did I miss anything? No? Anything new I missed? No? All right, I need a motion to adjourn. And before we do, Alan, are you going to leave things for me there that I can stop by and sign or what?
I will have my binders there where you sit, and it will be ready for you.
Okay. And then I guess we have to connect with Donna sometime to sign a couple of other things it looks like from the notes. So.
I saw that also.
Yes,
All right.
and I would just add Shelley and Alan, both the levy and the first mid-state bond documents are both time sensitive and need your signatures at your convenience. Donna will have those.
Are those available tonight?
They are not. The bond is, but the levy is not, as Susan's going to have to draw up some new numbers for that paperwork to make the adjustments that we made with Dale today.
Okay. Yeah, just shoot it for me. Shoot me an email. I'll stop by.
Will do.
Okay, I'll come by tomorrow, I think. If not tomorrow, the next day for sure. We'll get it done. All right. Thanks, everyone. I need a motion to adjourn.
I
So
so
moved.
moved.
I got Shoemaker for that one. Who was the second there? I see Dale's face, so I'll put Dale in.
Yes, I second it.
All right. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Feldkamp,
Yes.
Lau,
Yes.
Coleman, yes. Coons,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys.